All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. I think it's very important that we start the day by seeing each other. Very often we go to conferences, we go to meetings, and sometimes we seldom see people. We see past each other. And I would like to challenge all of us, myself included, in the next 2 days to really see one another, because this is what this conference is about. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Thank you very much for making time for the next 2 days. Thank you very much for showing up this morning. I actually want you to give yourself a big round of applause for showing up. Thank you. We are here today because we are attending a University of Johannesburg Library conference. It is a conference that is done in association, in collaboration with the Association of Commonwealth Universities. And for the next 2 days, we're going to be unpacking the theme, unpacking AI for teaching, learning, and research. In the next few days, we're going to be having conversations, discussions, and we will be unpacking how AI technologies can be enhanced. Not only do we look at how they're going to be enhanced and how they can be harnessed in order to enhance learning and teaching methodologies, we want to see how this can facilitate innovative learning experiences, how we can revolutionize our research and our research practice. A little bit about the Association of Commonwealth Universities. It is an international organization dedicated to bridging and bringing universities together. Why, we may ask? We want to bring and find global solutions to some of the challenges that are out there. It is an international collaboration that is central to the ambition of UJ and to other African universities. Universities are the key to healthier, greener, fair societies, and none of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals can be achieved without the contribution of higher education. So as you can see, higher education plays an important part in contributing towards the Sustainable Development Goals. And this is through innovation, this is through education, this is also through community engagement. The ACU champions higher education as a cornerstone for stronger societies. It supports its members, partners, and stakeholders as they adapt to an ever-changing world. For more information on ACU, please visit their website, and I'm going to give it to you right now. It's www.acu.ac.UK. This conference, ladies and gentlemen, would not take place without the support of our supporters and our sponsors. Some of them are already in this room. As you can see on my right, we've got EBSCO, we've got Elsevier, and we've got technology from Sage. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and let's give them also another big round of applause. When you get a chance, during the breaks and during the conference and during our lunches, they'll be there to interact with us, to answer questions. They'll be there to give us more information. I'm told they're bringing cutting-edge technology, right, around research and learning and teaching. So please make sure you give them a little buzz and interact with them. Not only do we have these 3 sponsors amongst us, we also want to acknowledge the other sponsors such as the Learning Curve, Worldwide Information Services. We also want to acknowledge Cultivate, the UJ Press, which is our own press here at University of Johannesburg, Newsbank, and Springer Nature. So ladies and gentlemen, those who are joining online, we acknowledge you. We also see you, and thank you very much, and let's interact with them. Are we going to be interacting also online? Are you going to be interacting with some of our participants online? Will you want to join them? Okay, we'll make a plan. We'll make a plan that you interact with them for our online delegates. As you entered the library, colleagues, I'm sure you were greeted with a beautiful exhibition. How many of you saw that exhibition? What was your first reaction to that? Beautiful, beautiful exhibition. What came through your mind? What was your reaction when you walked through in? the building. There's an art exhibition that's taking place right now. Any of you, have you seen it? Reactions? What were your reactions? Like, wow. Okay, why was it wow? AI, right? And what is the connection between the art exhibition and what we're doing here today? Is there a connection? Or are we're just being extra? Are we being extra? Have you ever been to those events where you're like, oh, this was extra, unnecessary? Are we being extra? No. Okay. So there's an art exhibition that is taking place, and those of you who are visiting South Africa or who might not be aware, we are celebrating 30 years of democracy as a country. Not only is the country celebrating 30 years of our democracy, but the University of Johannesburg, including the library, has actually gone out to actually say this is something that is a landmark in our history in South Africa. And so the library has aligned itself to this theme. So today, as you walk in and as you walk around, I'm going to encourage you to go really around the exhibition. You will see 30 years of how far we've come as a country. As we commemorate these 30 years of the democracy, our university is also proud to be a host to this remarkable photographic exhibition capturing the history and the journey of Nelson Mandela in his long walk to freedom. This exhibition is a true tribute to a man who became a global icon and a man who fought for justice and peace, and whose reflection is a reflection of our nation and our country's transformative journey towards democracy. The exhibition features extensive collection of photographs and chronicles the life of this icon, Tata Madiba, from his early life, from his early years, his political activism, his imprisonment, and eventually his rise as the first democratically elected president. Each image, ladies and gentlemen, that you see is a reminder of the struggles and the triumphs that Tata Madiba's path had. And by this exhibition, we hope that we'll be reminded how far we've come as a country and how far we have to go. Ladies and gentlemen, please make time and go and walk through that art exhibition. I would like to also invite you to be active on your socials. We've got socials on Facebook. We are also present on Twitter, which is also now known as X. We are also present on Insta. We are also present on LinkedIn. And it's UJ Library. I'll give you a second just to find it. UJ Library. And the hashtag is UJ Library International Conference. Okay? And we are at an AI conference. We can't come to an AI conference and not be able to interact with technology. So I'm going to ask all of us today at some point to really use our devices and interact on those platforms. Again, Facebook, we've got a presence, we've got a footprint, we are on X, we're on Instagram, and we are also on LinkedIn. And the hashtag is UJ Library International Conference. Last but not least, I'd like to introduce myself. The name is Brian Mhlanga. I work as a broadcaster. I also work in academia. I am a researcher, and I'm also an organizational and industrial psychologist. So I'm really, really, really looking forward to spending the day with you. And I would like the next 2 days to be a time that we learn together from each other, and hopefully we'll be able to share the fruits of our deliberation in the next few days. Welcome, and once again, give yourself a big round of applause for showing up. Without wasting further time, I'd like to introduce somebody who's very dear, somebody who I met 4 years ago during the pandemic. I had the privilege of being a speaker at one of these events during the pandemic. And I would like to welcome Alrina de Bruyn, who is the Director of Marketing and Events of UJ Library. And she's going to do the welcome address. Alrina, welcome, and over to you. Let's give a big round of applause.
Welcome to the great University of Johannesburg. Like our Vice-Chancellor, Prof. Mpedi will say, I hope you have a wonderful day. I would like us to have fun today. It's a fun event. Please enjoy yourself and participate, like Brian said. We would like it to be informal, ask questions, and just enjoy the day. I'm going to start. My name is Alrina de Bruyn, and I'm the Director for Marketing and Events here at UJ Library. I've got an amazing team, which I will introduce to you at some point, because without my team, I can't exist. I always tell them I'm only as good as my team, and I really have a great team. As the Director for Marketing and Events, I would like to give you a glimpse, only a glimpse of what we do here in the UJ Library. Okay, like I say, I'm going to give you a very quick glimpse of what we do here in the library under my portfolio. This is only under my portfolio. It's not even touching on what the librarians, the information librarians, the faculty librarians are doing. It is just within my domain. Okay, firstly, I would like to talk about our social media. Brian already gave you the hashtags for today. Our library is extremely prevalent on social media. We have more than 9,000 followers on LinkedIn. I've got a social media team also that does the social media for me. I've got an intern that only focuses on social media. So we do short reels on Instagram. So we have, like I say, our prevalence on social media are big. Okay, then next we have a podcast studio. Our podcast studio are for free for internal UJ users. The reason behind it is all because we want the lecturers to record the lectures, and then when our students have downtime on the taxis, then they can listen to the lecturers. We realize our students have got a lot of downtime that they spend either on public transport or in the taxis. And then if the students record their lectures, if the lecturers record their lectures, then the student can actually listen to the podcast. For external people, you can use our facilities as well. And we do charge a small fee for it, and then we can do basic editing for you, or we can do professional editing for you. Okay, then we've got a huge program on events. We do more than 200 events a year. So we do virtual events, we do hybrid events, and we do physical events. You can bring your events to us, and then we do a turnkey event. We have a turnkey event service for you. I realized that, each academic need to, at some point, have an event, might be a public lecture, book launch, whatever, seminar, and instead of taking it outside, we decided they can bring it to UJ Library. We are very reasonable with our pricing, so if you have an event, please bring it to us as the library, and we'll do a fantastic job. Okay, then another one of our very, very successful events are the high tea with the VC. So our previous Vice-Chancellor loved reading. He said you can't lead if you don't read, which is fantastic. And then our new Vice-Chancellor changed it. It is like a book club for our Vice-Chancellor. We have it once a month. We have it on a Friday. It's a fantastic event, and our students specifically attend these events on a Friday. Okay, then we have our own library mascot, Scott, called Funda. He will make his appearance later today. And we have student expos. So for each expo, we have a different theme. This year, it was also all about work readiness for our students. We also have it in the cultural hour on a Friday. We have exhibitors. We have a DJ. We have fun in the sun. That's the aim of it, is to have fun in the sun. Okay, then we had, like I said, we have different kinds of events. We had Caster Semenya here at the library for a book launch, and we are currently running a program with the European Union on corruption. This is a book dash that we're going to have in September. Amazing idea. It's people coming from Cape Town, all the way from Cape Town, flying in. It is a one-day event where 22 or 40 writers come together with illustrators, graphic designers, and in one day they churn out 22 children's books. At the end of the day, it's from 9 in the morning until 9 in the evening, and afterwards there's 22 children's books that our UJ Press is going to publish, and it gets distributed in everywhere because it's in all 11 South African languages. Okay, then we run a great internship program. Our interns are somewhere here in the room. So every year we give 4 interns a chance to come and work for the events, marketing and events team. With the money that we make, we give them, I won't call it a salary, but we give them, we pay them. So then in the process, they learn literally something of everything that you can imagine, from flowers to wine to AVU, and we make them work ready. We employ our unemployed students, and it is amazing, I always say, to our detriment, when they change their LinkedIn profile, they get grabbed up. One of our interns just got a permanent job. It's sad for us, but that is the reality that we live in. Okay, then part of my portfolio is funding. We've got different initiatives. I'm not going to go into detail, but for instance, we have a VR room or a VR lab. Then we have, we would like to have a data visualization wall within the VR space. As I mentioned, we've got a gaming, different gaming that we would like to games that we would like to design, the internship program, and then we want to have AI and information literacy, where we going to design a whole short learning program on AI within libraries. I get funding from an organization called New Settlers Foundation. And then this conference, and we have a TED, is our flagship events. Okay, at DFC, we've got a makerspace, guys. For those of you who don't know what a makerspace is, it's a space where you make stuff. I am very creative as a person, so this is for me a creative playground. So we do laser cutting. This is laser cutting partitionery. So for those of you that is building new homes, etc., it needs office spaces to be partitioned, please come to us. We can also make some beautiful artwork for you. We can cut your home number for you. Like I say, within the makerspace, we also have 3D printers. So all our students can go there and have their projects realized. I hope that makes sense. But if you are an architectural student and you're designing a building, you can go to the makerspace and have it printed in 3D so you can see what your project looks like. Then we have a virtual reality space at our Durban Bunting Road campus. This is a whole big project that we are envisaged, and we hopefully at the end of the year we're going to get this. It's already there, and we have students on a Friday go to the VR room and they play games. So, but now we're going to beautify the space and bring it into the 4IR space, okay? This is, besides this conference, this is our other flagship event, TEDx University of Johannesburg. Renika's sitting there at the back. She's got the license. She's the license holder for TEDx University of Johannesburg. We started very small, but now we grew, and this year, like I say, you can see, it's on the 11th of October, and the theme is re-engineering humanity. And that's me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So what he forgot to mention is that there's a third person, Spot. And it's really become something very difficult for me to use pronouns on a robot. I keep on saying he instead of it. And I guess that's the way that we need to transform our language, our use of language, to make use of, or to make more broader, so that we can include robots in our language. So, as was mentioned, I'm Dr. Herman Myberg. I head the Metaverse Research Unit at the Institute for Intelligent Systems at University of Johannesburg. And we are joined today with Dr. Oliwole Akinola. I think a round of applause is actually in order, because Dr. Oliwole has just heard that he passed his doctorate a week or two ago, so it will be conferred on him very shortly. And yes, then Spot now decided that he's got a little bit of stage fright, so we'll sort him out now. But Spot is a robot dog that we acquired from Boston Dynamics. That's the company in the US that has been developing and been at the forefront of robotics in the world. They've recently been acquired by Hyundai, and there's over 1,000 of these robot dogs currently doing active duty all across the world. At last count, that was in 2022, they were present in 35 countries. There's also plans on sending these dogs to Mars, and to go and investigate whether or not it's possible to send humans there. With that being said, I don't want to be the first human to go to Mars, so let's send the robots and colonize Mars in that way. So Spot the robot dog has a payload capacity of 14 kilograms. So you can load it up with a couple of bricks, a couple of books if you're running a library, and it can do a lot of the tedious jobs in an automatic manner. You can upgrade it with an arm so that it can open doors and put books back on shelves, and I think that's something that we need to seriously explore in the future. Now, with robotics coming in, we often get asked this question: what about our jobs? And it's one of those questions that I've been asking myself as well. What is going to happen to the jobs? Now, there's a company called Control Robotics, and they are at the forefront of incorporating robots into menial tasks on a daily basis. So Mill Park Hospital is just across the street from us here, and they've incorporated a few of these autonomous robots that is doing a lot of the porter's works or tasks. So it would go from a ward to the pharmacy, collect medicine, take it back. And the porters at this hospital was afraid that their jobs will become obsolete. But what happened after a few months is that they saw that now they had more time to spend on things that really mattered. So instead of just running around between a ward and a pharmacy, they now had the opportunity of interacting with patients and really sitting with patients and taking them through their healing and recovery journey. So it's not always going to be the case that jobs are going to become obsolete. Yes, jobs are going to change, but ultimately it's going to take a lot of our tedious work away from us, and that's what's exciting. So as Spot is busy starting up again, there's a few things that you need to know about him. He's got cameras all around him, so he won't run into you when you're walking. He's quite sturdy. We had him at the AI Expo last year, and at this expo, a lady walked up to him, and she just decided that I'm going to kick this robot. And she kicked him, and he sidestepped a couple of steps, and then he rectified himself, and he didn't attack her. So luckily, the software is not, there's no anger built into the software that manages Spot. What happens with some of the data, it gets sent back to Boston Dynamics, who aggregates this data. And just in the year 2022, all the Spot robots walked about 14,500 kilometers. That's about from us to the South Pole and back twice. So it's quite a long distance that these Spot robots have run. And then with the arm extension, it picked up more than 35,000 objects. They're using it in high nuclear regions to do exploration, so that you don't send people in to go and do measurements. We're using it in mines, so whenever there's a mine fault or a mine collapse, we are starting, as the University of Johannesburg, in collaboration with our Department of Mine Engineering and Mine Surveillance, we can send Spot in instead of sending people in, just to do a first scan. But I've spoken too much now, so Dr. Oliwole, I'd love for you to come and give us a few tidbits on your experience working with Spot, and just share your knowledge with us. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Dr. Herman. Thank you for inviting us from the Institute of Intelligence System. Dr. Herman has made a remarkable explanation of what Spot can do and what we are doing. I just want to add that we are also doing research in line with integrating Spot with speech commands, as well as helping to interact in local languages. It's still at the early stage of development because, of course, we know robots today can do quite a number of things. They can cook our meals, they can wash our clothes, they can run errands. And of course, in Africa, one very important value we have is our cultural heritage. So, and how do we incorporate this into robots to also do quite a number of things? And one very important area we're looking at is language. Not just text, but speech. We're talking of speech-to-speech communication, where it interacts with the user and engage in such a way that there are basic communication we can achieve in local languages. Like I said, it's still in the early stage of development, and we hope that in our presentations, we will be giving updates about the improvement and some of the groundbreaking work we are going to do with Spot. So far, we have a small problem. The battery is down, and we'll come up very soon with Spot. and let it run around and do some more interactive things. Thank you very much.
Are there any questions on Spot and anything from the audience? Yes, there at the back.
30 minutes to about 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30 minutes, yes.
Any other questions? Yes. It can dance. So each separate package, software package, needs to be licensed, and that's quite expensive. So at this stage, we don't have the dance license because it's not core. It's a nice to have, not a need to have.
Yeah.
But if there's any funders in the audience, we can always talk. Any other questions? Well, thank you so much for having us, and we'll have spots up. Yes. So that depends on where you're using it. For us, it's a way of getting our students to interact with the latest robotics technology that's coming out from the US. That was the main reason we acquired it. So we've got Masters of AI students working on Spot. And then Spot is there for assistance in the South African context. So like I mentioned with the mine example, we have sent them down into mines as well. There's just been a month or two ago, Boston Dynamics launched a new sensor that determines temperature. So you can have automated walking around and scanning of objects. And then through incorporating AI, it can learn where deviations occur. So when a machine starts to run at a higher temperature, you can see that with infrared cameras before the machine breaks down, and you can send someone out to do that. So and for us as a university, the main use is for student learning and research. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I had a question. I'm just curious. Can it sense emotion?
It does have cameras, so you can sense, or you can see a face, you can recognize a face. And then on the software side, you can program it to sense emotions within certain parameters. So things like sadness, happiness, that you can program.
All right. So we are going to get to a point where we'll be able to. I could hold it.
It's not very cuddly and fluffy.
Okay. All right. On that note, thank you very much. All right. Thank you very much.